Blue's gone and he will not be missed. That was way less dramatic than I thought. I genuinely was hoping for a fight to the death, but it was very predictable and they asked the Islanders to vote. I must say, I was surprised that Blue went because I thought they would vote to save their friends. But as they say, it's not Friend Island, so he had to go. The best part was when Blue said he'd already made connections in the villa and there was nobody in there for Shay, and Shay said, "Who have you made connections with?" And he said, "Tony." And Tony says, "I think somebody's just pulled my name out their arse." That was awkward. Oh, I'm 30 seconds in and I forgot to say this is Love Island UK, episode 5. Both boys also said that we're interested in Shakira, and one of them turned around and says, "Oh, Shakira, who are you interested in?" And she's like, "Don't involve me. I'm interested in Ben." She's like, "Fuck off. I'm not fucking taking the blame for this one." So anyway, he's gone. I won't miss him. Harry was in the diary room saying that he's not interested in Shakira all of a sudden. But yesterday they had unfinished business. Talks absolute piss. I seen them putting on their tanning oil. What oil is that? Because they are all dark as fuck already. Shay was speaking to Megan and she says, "I do find you attractive, but you're almost too good looking." As we know, we've all got different taste. None of these people are my type, they're all too young. But she thinks he's too good looking, and that's her opinion, and that's fine. But he says, "Oh, I get that a lot, but I'm humble, but I do get that a lot." Let's rewind back just a couple of days ago when he came in and he was like, "I've got the height, I've got the body, I've got the looks." So humble. So Tony sees them chatting and he's like, "I'm not having any of that." And he goes over and steals her for a chat. Good for him. He's taking a stand, that's what I like to see. Now, as you know, I don't like Tony. But it's not because he's a bad guy or he's done anything wrong, it's just because he's got that like geezer lad mentality that I hate. Generally speaking, he hasn't actually done anything. Ben and Shakira were having a wee date and it was actually quite cute, but I was pissing myself the day because apparently people have been asking ITV to put subtitles when he speaks, and as I said the other day, I was watching this with my partner and they could not understand one word that he was saying. I literally had to translate it for him, and I says, "Oh my god, he's worse than Adrian for maths." But I seemed to understand him a lot better tonight. Even though he was being quite cute with Shakira, later on he said something and it's bringing out that red pill male vibe again. Right, so Alima was speaking to Ramel and none of them can swim, right? So she says that she was getting lessons and the instructor says, "You're never going to learn how to swim unless you float." Blatant lies. Because when I go swimming with my ex-boyfriend, he cannot float. At all. I have done everything to try and teach him how to float. He sinks like a brick, but he can swim. So, not really sure what our instructor's talking about. Anyway, that's nothing to do with the storyline, it was just annoyed me. The boys get a text and it's time to leave the villa. Now, I wouldn't have known anything about the 3 bombshells apart from the fact that I seen a video literally 10 minutes before the show started tonight, so that kind of wasted it for me, but it's fine. So the girls went away and got ready, put on their makeup, got dressed up and all that, and then when they came out to the garden there was a big screen and they were standing watching the boys. They didn't even give them a chair, they didn't even give them food and snacks to sit and watch it. They were just standing in the middle of the garden like a bunch of dicks. They'd got dressed up for absolutely no reason. I'd have been quite raging actually. The boys started off by going round and saying, "How you getting on in your couple, how you getting on, blah blah blah." And Harry had the fucking cheek to say, "Oh, I don't know if Helen is just a good time girl, especially after what we spoke about today." Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is he not the one at the very start who said something about, "I had 11 girls on the go at one point, I had a football team on the go at one point"? And he's got a problem with Helena having a threesome. And he did say, "Oh, I mean, it's not made me want to take a step back because I've done much worse, but it makes you think." Well, if you've done much worse, then why the fuck are you bringing it up? Dickbag. I fucking can't stand hypocrisy. Meanwhile, he's sitting right next to a guy who says that he had sex with 5 women in one night. But Helen is not allowed a threesome. Get to fuck. This morning I made a video about Love Island USA and I was talking about how women are hypocrites. And we all know that men are hypocrites as well. But it's like, oh, a man slept with over 100 women, but he doesn't want to be in a relationship with a woman who's had a threesome or went with 10 men or more. There's only one way to teach them a lesson. Chemical castration. Let me know what you think in the comments. Right, so is it just me or does Meg come across as a total cunt at times? She's a stunning looking lassie, and actually most of the time I think she comes across as a really nice person, but she said a few things now that's made me think, maybe she's not really a nice person, because she made a comment about Ben being a taxi driver at the start before they met him, and then the night she was making comments like when the bombshells came in, and okay, the girls are going to be annoyed, they're going to be paranoid or whatever, but just some of the comments that she was making I thought was quite unnecessary. And listen, generally speaking, I'm not a jealous person, apart from the only one person that I've ever went with. Anybody else I don't really give a fuck. So I know what it's like to feel jealousy or to feel insecure or whatever, but there was literally no need for the way she was acting. Like, she wasn't just shouting at the bombshells, she was doing it in a really nasty way, do you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Even though Ben was being quite cute on his date and he wasn't saying anything bad about Shakira, and he was actually coming across as a half decent guy in this episode, he did say something about when they were talking about the girls having it easy, and he was saying, oh, they need to be stressed or like whatever, and it just came across as like toxic as fuck. I don't have pictures of the new girls yet, but they came in and they all seemed really nice, and yes, there's a Welsh person! Woo! Representation! I love it. I mean, how many people have we got in there for London now? Come on to fuck. When the bombshells were asking who they were partnered up with, and Connor said Tony, she's American, but she said she'd be willing to move or whatever, and one of the bombshells went, oh, bullshit. And they were all raging, right? And again, like, maybe she could move to the UK. We don't know how much money she's got. I don't even remember what her job is or anything. But it is a bit of a stretch. Like, you'd have to really, really fucking really love somebody to move to another country. I think it'd be easier to move from America to the UK right enough, but what do I know? Dijon was just asking questions and being nice, and Megan was like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, fucking hell, man, calm down. Okay, they ended up picking him to spend private time with, right? But that's not the point. Let's just fucking take a chill pill for a second. Have I been calling him Henry the whole video? Because I've wrote down on my notes Henry, but his name's Harry. Oh well, he's obviously insignificant to me, but I thought he was a skis bag to start off with. Now I think he's a total fucking cunt bag. I felt like the boys were just asking normal questions, and okay, they were being a bit flirty, and they were getting excited and like cuddling each other, and the girls were like, why are they happy? Why are they asking questions? Why are they being nice? And you already know what the girls are like when boys come in. They're all over them, they don't give a fuck, they blatantly flirt. Like, it annoys me. It's like one rule for them and another rule for the boys. It's the same in every show. But I just felt like they were just taking things too far and they were just being really nasty for no reason. Now, obviously, once the bombshells picked and it was their men, then okay, that's the time to fucking lose your shit, right? Up until then, there was not really a need. So for whatever reason, somebody picked Harry, not Henry. One picked Connor and one picked Dijon, so they're away to have some private time. Now, what I will say is, even though I don't like Tommy, when the girls were asking about Meg, he says, oh, I really like her, I've not had my eye on anybody else, but she's been talking to another guy, so maybe this is an opportunity for me. And he was totally respectful about the whole thing. He wasn't being a cunt whatsoever. And so, actually, maybe I do like him a wee bit, but I just can't go over the whole geezer situation. Let me know in the comments what you thought of tonight's episode. I actually thought it was alright, but they're needing to bring in some games, they're needing to bring in some excitement. Fucking get Big Brother USA on the phone, and I'll see you again on Sunday. Bye!